Hello everybody, my name is Tanner Kyler, and today I am bringing you a really cool native wildflower to a lot of North America. This is the false sunflower. So it is called the false sunflower because it is not in the Helianthus genus. This is Heliopsis helianthoides. This guy is a prolific bloomer here in Oklahoma. So we are now in late May, early June, and this guy is in full bloom. So these guys are native to a lot of North America. They go all the way up from northern Canada, down the east coast into Florida, over to Texas, all the way over to the Rocky Mountains. And the Rocky Mountains kind of make a barrier that keep them from crossing. So you'll find them all the way to Colorado, here in Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota. And actually there's a small population in Washington. So if you're watching this from Washington, this is another native species for you guys to grow. You guys have a lot there. Kind of jealous of Washington's climate, but here in Oklahoma we have a ton of diversity too, and this is one of those plants, and I'm highlighting all that on this channel. So these guys grow 3 to 6 feet tall. I am 6 feet tall. I'll show you me next to them. I'm gonna get back down. So these guys are about 3 to 4 feet tall here. You can keep them from getting smaller, so because they get 3 to 6 feet tall, in some areas you will find them getting as tall as I am. And if they get that tall in your area and you don't like them, there is a solution. So here in early May, if you're northern, maybe in June, give them a chop about halfway up the plant. So if your plant's 6 feet tall, chop them back to 3 feet tall, and then they'll only grow up to about 4 feet tall and put on more blooms. So actually chopping them will make them bloom more. It'll also keep them sturdier. But if you plant them together, like I have this giant goldenrod here, and this wild bergamot growing alongside of them, some switchgrass, there's a magnolia tree behind them. They don't flop over too much. I don't know if you can see this mealy blue sage also growing underneath it. That's a shorter plant. Some sedges, some big blue stem, little blue stem. I have a ton of cool stuff growing up in here with these guys that prevent them from flopping. I kind of like how tall they are. They're kind of a perfect height sunflower for me. So these guys do best in full to part sun, full sun preferably. But I have some actually growing right behind me by this chicken coop that are doing well. They only get about 3 hours of sunlight in the morning and then none for the rest of the day. And they're blooming, but they aren't as pretty as these right here. So these clumps are doing much better. There's another one right here behind me. So they get these 2 to 3 inch bright fluorescence. So they are a neon yellow color, kind of an orangey hue to them as well. And each flower actually has about 200 little flowers in it. So these are the petals. And then if you look closely, there are a ton of flowers. Each of these little flowers will produce 1 seed. Now their seeds are special because they actually don't require a cold stratification like a lot of our plants do. So if you grow these guys and want to collect seed that year and grow them that year, they will. And they also self-reseed like crazy. So right here is a small one growing in front of it. All throughout here, there are dozens of babies coming up. So they are true perennials. They live 5 to 7 years before they die. But if you allow them to reseed heavily, not chopping their flowers back before they produce their seed, they actually will reseed heavily into your garden and never appear to leave. So whenever the old ones get old and start to die, the young ones will replace them, and you won't be able to tell if the old ones are even dying because the young ones come up and replace them. So mine bloom from May to June into July. Sometimes they'll bloom later in the summer again if we have plenty of water. Sorry, there's a bug crawling on my leg. If you have plenty of water. So these guys appreciate quite a bit of water. They don't want boggy soils. If you plant them in a marsh, they won't do well. But if you plant them up here in a flatter area that is well draining with a lot of moisture, they do well. They do not want too much fertilizer. If you give these guys a high nitrogen fertilizer like you people do for their lawns, it can kill them, make them sick, not do as well, not bloom. So they like moderate fertilization. So I use a slow release fertilizer on these guys, and I only do that about once, maybe twice a year, as that slow release takes about 3 months to slowly release into the soil, and that gives them what they need for the year. They are not picky on their soil types. They can grow in straight clay, straight sand, loam, or a perfect soil. They do well no matter the circumstances, as long as the soil isn't too rich and fertile. So they do well in backyards, they do well in front yards, all over the place, hell strips and pollinator gardens, or out here in the middle of a prairie. So I have about 5 acres of prairie that I've been moving the babies out to grow, and they're doing terrific out there by themselves, and I don't water those at all. These I give a little bit of water to, mostly when I'm watering this magnolia tree behind me. So their first year, you definitely want to water them very deep to get that root system established. But after that, you really don't have to care for them too much. If you want to water them, it will make them bloom more, it will make them get larger and more prolific. But if you don't water them, nothing much is going to happen. These guys are very beneficial to a lot of pollinators. Right here, I actually have a box elder beetle pollinating it right now. I've seen solitary bees all over this guy, plenty of solitary bees, dozens of species. But I'm going to highlight a few of them that really appreciate this plant. And so we have the longhorn bees. They enjoy these. Those are one of our native solitary bees. I'll put a picture on the screen. I'll put a picture of all of these on the screen as I go along. They're good for the ground nesting cuckoo bee, the rugose spurred miner bee, and they also attract aphids. So aphids will get on here. That'll attract ladybugs. So then you'll get true ladybugs all over here. Other beetles will be using it. And then assassin bugs will also show up to eat the aphids and other critters that are living in here. You'll get grasshoppers on here, all different sorts, because it supports our local biodiversity and our ecology. These guys are awesome for pollinator gardens, and I'm going to keep hammering that in because I'd love for everybody to go and plant at least one of these in their pollinator gardens in their backyard, somewhere that they have access to planting. It could be a public park in an area that they don't mow. Stick it out there, let it grow, let it do great. And then people will love its beauty and continue planting it, collecting seed, those kind of things. So these guys are amazing plants that are very tough, very hard to kill. I haven't had any issues with them. I planted them 3 years ago, and so these are 3-year-old clumps, and there's babies popping up all over the place. So I have a feeling I'll have these for the rest of my life, just starting with about 6 small plugs. Not a lot of stores sell these, but if you go to a native plant nursery, you might be able to find it. You can also order them on Etsy, and then collect your own seed in the wild if you find them. So this guy has an inchworm on it right now I'm looking at. That's about it for these guys. They're just prolific bloomers, amazing plants. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please subscribe and like if you want to see more content like this. Every dime that this channel will ever make will always be put back into buying land and to preserving it and to protect the natural world from the destruction that is happening all around us all the time. If we can just save, fragments of these places, we can save genetics, and then we can bring them back in the future. So every dime this channel makes is to put back into nature. That's all I really care about in life, is to get as much money as I can to buy land, to protect these amazing resources that we have, that we call the natural world, because everything you've ever consumed, ever used, is part of the natural world. Sorry, I got distracted by a really cool wasp right there. Please leave a comment if you have any questions or concerns. I can reach out and try to comment on any questions you guys bring to me if I didn't mention something, if you're curious about something, or if there's something I did that you didn't like. Let me know. I like positive critiques. I try to respond to all of you guys and to show that I'm here, I'm engaged, and I care about all of you. So with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.